Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. The go-slow at the island's ports of entry continues today. This as the National Union of Public Workers continues to press its case against the Personnel Administration Division in the matter relating to its president, Akani McDowell. In the meantime, General Secretary Roslyn Smith says the ball is now in the PAD's court as the union awaits word from the government department. Ms. Smith told CBC News when contacted earlier they expect a response from the PAD sometime today. She says once that is received, the union will determine its next move. Multi-million-dollar upgrades for the Grantley Adams International Airport are closer to becoming a reality. This from Tourism Minister Richard Seeley, who says the airport has to be improved to handle an expected increase in flights as officials continue to concentrate heavily on Europe. He was speaking over the weekend during a reception in the airport's Grace Adams suite for one of those partners, Condor Airlines.
We are partnering with Air France to bring French tourists to Barbados. And we're going to achieve this, of course, by establishing an air bridge with Martinique on Air Antilles. So the Air France flights will actually be landing in Fort-de-France in Martinique, and then they will come across on a smaller aircraft. It's an ATR aircraft similar to what Liat uses, and I think that is, of course, quite exciting.
Mr. Seeley says the local team continues to pay close attention to the European market. A local company that has made strides on the regional market is pledging its continued support to the growth and development of Barbados. It is Electric Sales and Service Limited, or ESCO, which specializes in air conditioning solutions both here and across the region. And this morning, ESCO partnered with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation's Guardians of the Heritage Initiative as it marks its own major milestone, 80 years of existence. Warehouse Supervisor Esther Coulter says the company is pleased to be on board.
With our mission pledging to be the very best service provided both locally and regionally, having played a part in some of the largest construction projects throughout the Caribbean since the 1960s, our highly trained and motivated staff stand ready to install and service all equipment we sell and to satisfy the needs of our customers, which is our priority. So as God continues to be the people's guide, we celebrate our own birthday at ESCO. We celebrate with you here at CBC, and most importantly, we celebrate our country's golden anniversary as we join with all in saying, Happy 50th anniversary, Barbados!
And ESCO was praised for its outstanding work over the years.
It makes me immensely proud as a CBC staffer, as a Barbadian, to be part of an initiative like this, the Guardians of the Heritage. And I know that ESCO is also celebrating a significant milestone as well, so I can only imagine the pride that you have as well for being a part of this. So again, thank you on behalf of CBC for coming on board, and I wish ESCO many, many more years of prosperity.
It appears there's been significant progress in providing relief to St. Joseph residents plagued by prolonged water outages. News is that they second the Sweet Vale borehole in St. George, one of the more recent solutions used by the Barbados Water Authority to get water to affected communities in St. Joseph and surrounding districts, is standing up to the test. BWA's corporate communications specialist Joyanne Haig has been giving CBC News an update.
We would have had one or two disruptions because of a burst main, I think, in Chimborazo 2 or 3 days ago, but that's back up and running. We still have one or two pockets in Horse Hill and Suriname, a couple of houses that are not getting, but our tanker service will be giving them water daily until we rectify that smaller problem. But for the most part, the Sweet Vale second borehole is stable. It is still running, and we're really happy with the response so far.
Ms. Haig says the BWA will be closely monitoring the situation, and she's appealing to residents there to be prepared.
The system can be interrupted sometimes because of a burst main, a power outage, equipment failure. We're appealing to the good people in parts of St. Joseph, St. Andrew, St. John, and St. Thomas who rely on this supply to please continue to practice water conservation, because it's very important that you still do that even though you have water coming back.
A day of fun for St. John family ended in tragedy yesterday afternoon at the Silver Sands beach. Police say a 17-year-old boy was attending a family reunion picnic at the beach when he was knocked over by a wave while standing close to the shoreline with others. The teenager's body was later seen floating face down and lifeless under the water by a sea bather who retrieved the body. Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler says the boy's name will be released later today. A novel attempt to smuggle drugs into Barbados has failed, and as a result, a 27-year-old Jamaican woman has been remanded to prison. Police say Raquel Nicole Turner arrived at the Grantley Adams International on Saturday. She was being pushed in a wheelchair and had a cast on her foot. The woman cleared immigration but was stopped and interviewed by drug squad police, who sent her to hospital for an x-ray to be done on her foot. It revealed several packages concealed in the cast, and when the cast was removed, the police found 3 pounds of cannabis. Turner appeared before Magistrate Graveney Bannister in the traffic court later that day on charges of possession with intent to supply, trafficking and importation. She was remanded to prison to reappear in the District B Magistrates Court on November 22nd. And a 25-year-old man has been remanded to prison on charges stemming from a shooting at Vauxhall Christchurch earlier this year. Police have accused Tyrell Dario Prescott of Sargent Village of committing serious bodily harm, use of a firearm and a violent disorder. Lawmen say that on May 5th, a number of men were liming in Vauxhall when the shooting happened, leaving some of them wounded. Prescott appeared before Magistrate Bannister in the traffic court on Saturday and was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison Dodds. He is expected to reappear in the Oystons Court on December 9th. In other news now, a local historian is disappointed that the majority of Barbadians do not know much about Bridgetown. In fact, Trevor Marshall says as many as 99% of Barbadians know very little about the historic city. Mr. Marshall was speaking to the media just before leading off a tour of the city. He says more Barbadians, like visitors, are showing a renewed interest in learning about the city.
If you ask people, now what's the Indian Bridge or where is it, they wouldn't know. Why is that set of buildings over there important? Would you know that some people look at that set of buildings over there and suggest that it is a church? This, of course, are Parliament buildings. The ignorance of the Barbadian about Bridgetown is enormous. And we are trying a little bit every day. Every day we do tours, Morris Greenwich and myself, to make people aware. Not only that there are certain landmarks in our development as a country, but Bridgetown was the hub of the British colonial empire in the Caribbean.
We'll have national and international news after this break. Stay with us.
Meet the Barrow was a